Never trust your first memory of an important event 100%. Seriously, stop doing that. Psychology has discovered that every time you remember something, your brain isn't just playing back an old video. It's rewriting the entire memory based on how you feel right now. This means that most of your favorite childhood memories are actually fictions you unintentionally created. And that's just the tip of the iceberg of how your mind tricks you every day. The truth is, we think we're in control, piloting our lives, but 95% of our decisions happen on autopilot, guided by a subconscious that doesn't always work in our favor. Today, I've gathered 75 fascinating psychology facts about how we think, feel, and act. Some will scare you, others will give you comfort, but they will all change the way you look at yourself in the mirror tomorrow morning. Let's dive into your mind now. The big problem is that we live reacting to the world without understanding why. Why do you feel jealous for no reason? Why does silence bother you? Why are you attracted to people who ignore you? The lack of answers to this generates anxiety and insecurity. But psychology has these answers, and understanding these patterns is the first step to stop being a hostage to your own brain. Let's start with how you deal with others. Fact number 1. If you want to know if someone is watching you or paying attention to you, look at your watch or pretend to look at the time. If the person is looking at you, psychology says their instinct will be to check the time immediately too. It's an almost impossible reflex to resist. That leads us to number 2. When a group of people starts laughing, each individual instinctively looks at the person they feel closest to or want to be most intimate with. So next time someone tells a joke in your circle of friends, pay attention to everyone's eyes. You'll discover secret couples or unrequited loves in seconds. And what about intelligence? Studies indicate that people who swear frequently tend to be more loyal, open, and honest with their friends. Furthermore, they usually have a broader mental vocabulary and process stress faster. So that dirty mouth might just be a sign of a very active brain.
Speaking of active brains, number 4. If you have trouble turning off your brain at night and can't sleep because of racing thoughts, get up and write those thoughts down. The act of putting it on paper tricks your brain into thinking the task is done, which lets you relax and sleep.
Have you ever felt your phone vibrate in your pocket, but when you checked, there was nothing? This has a name: phantom vibration syndrome. Curiously, psychology associates this with people who have higher levels of social anxiety and a need for approval. It's your brain desperate for connection. Number 6. The way you treat waiters and service staff reveals more about your character than anything else. There's something called the waiter rule. If someone is nice to you but rude to the waiter, that's not a good person. Their brain separates people by utility, which is a terrible personality trait.
Let's talk about lies. If someone is lying to you and you remain silent and maintain eye contact, the person will feel uncomfortable with the conversational void and will keep talking. Generally, in this nervousness to fill the silence, they end up contradicting themselves and revealing the truth. Silence is the loudest tool you have. Number 8. Favorite songs. The type of music you like is not random. Psychology says your favorite song is, most of the time, linked to an intense emotional event in your past. We don't just hear the music, we hear the memories it brings. And here's a tough one. Depression is often the result of overthinking. The mind creates problems that didn't even exist. Very intelligent and creative people are more likely to suffer from this because their brains are excellent at simulating catastrophic future scenarios that will never happen.
10th fact: sarcasm is a sign of a healthy brain. People who quickly understand and use sarcasm tend to have more agile minds and better problem-solving skills. It's a form of mental gymnastics. Did you know money can buy happiness? But there's a limit. Studies show that money increases happiness until your basic needs and a bit of comfort are secured. After that point, more money does not bring proportionately more joy. Happiness becomes a matter of purpose, not bank account size. Number 12. If you tell everyone your goals, you are less likely to achieve them. Psychology explains that by receiving social validation and congratulations before doing the work, your brain releases dopamine and feels the mission has already been accomplished, draining your motivation to actually do the work. Keep your dreams secret for a while. Regarding friendship, we lose half of our friends every 7 years. But don't be sad. This is a natural process of mental renewal. The friends who survive that 7-year barrier, however, tend to stay for life. Number 14. Rejection literally hurts. The brain processes social rejection like a breakup or being excluded from a group in the same areas that process physical pain. That's why a broken heart truly hurts in the chest.
People who are easily distracted or daydream are not lazy. In fact, this is often a sign of a very efficient and creative brain that finds the reality around it too slow or boring. Let's talk about attraction. When you look at someone you love, your pupils dilate. But the curious thing is, they also dilate when you look at someone you hate. The eye does not hide the intensity of the emotion, whether it is good or bad. Number 17. If you cry tears of happiness, the first tear will come from your right eye. If you cry from sadness, it will come from the left. The body has a map for your emotions that you don't even realize. The placebo effect is so strong that it works even when you know it's a placebo. If you believe something will make you feel better, your brain starts producing healing chemicals before the medicine even takes effect. Your mind has the power to heal your body. Number 19. Being alone is not bad. People who enjoy spending time alone tend to be more empathetic when they're in a group. They use alone time to recharge and process emotions, which makes them better and more attentive friends. Have you ever noticed that food made by someone else always tastes better, even if it's the same recipe you use? This happens because when you cook, the smell desensitizes you before you eat. When someone else makes it, the sensory novelty makes everything seem better. 21. The fear of being forgotten is called athazagorophobia. Curiously, the people most afraid of being forgotten are those who always remember details about others.
If you hold the hand of someone you love, physical pain and stress instantly decrease. It's not magic, it's biology. Human touch reduces cortisol and releases oxytocin, the love hormone. Number 23. People who sleep too much may actually be wishing to escape reality. Excessive sleep is a common defense mechanism of the subconscious when waking life is too difficult to handle. Nostalgia is good for you. Fondly remembering the past helps combat loneliness, anxiety, and even makes the body physically warmer. It's like an emotional blanket. 25. Your brain prefers information that confirms what you already believe. This is called confirmation bias. That's why it's so difficult to win an argument on the internet. The other person's brain is literally blocking facts that contradict their belief to protect their ego. Let's talk about fear. Fact 26. Fear is not bad. Fear is what kept your ancestors alive. The problem is that your brain doesn't know the difference between a lion in the jungle and an email from your boss. The stress response is the same, and that's what exhausts you. People who try to keep everyone happy around them often end up feeling the loneliest. They spend so much energy projecting outward that they forget to nurture themselves. 28. The color of clothes affects how you are judged. Wearing red makes men and women seem more attractive and confident, but also more aggressive. Wearing blue conveys confidence and stability. Memory is not a recording, it is a reconstruction. If you ask two people to describe the same accident, they will tell different stories, and both will be telling the truth from their brain's perspective. 30. Traveling improves brain health and reduces the risk of heart attack and depression. Exposure to new places forces the brain to create new neural connections, keeping it young. Regarding habit, it takes an average of 66 days to form a new habit. It's not 21 days, as they say. So, if you're trying to change your life and it's difficult after a month, take it easy. You are only halfway there. 32. The type of movie you watch says a lot about your fears. People who love horror movies often have less real-life anxiety because they use the films to train their brains to deal with controlled stress situations. You know that feeling that everyone is looking at you when you make a mistake in public? It's called the spotlight effect. The liberating truth is, nobody cares. Everyone is too worried about their own mistakes to notice yours. 34. Writing by hand helps you learn better than typing. The movement of the hand connects with deeper memory areas of the brain. If you want to remember, use pen and paper. Bilingual people can unconsciously change personality when they switch languages. Each language carries its own cultural norms and values, and your brain adapts to that. 36. Intuition is real. When you have a bad feeling about someone, it's your brain processing thousands of micro-expressions and body language cues that your conscious mind didn't notice. Trust your instinct. If you announce your plans, you feel premature gratification that reduces the chance of doing them. I've said this before, but it's worth repeating. Silence is the best friend of success. 38. Sitting for too long makes you feel more depressed. Body movement is directly linked to mood regulation. Sometimes the cure for a bad day is just a 10-minute walk. The way parents talk to their children becomes the child's inner voice. If you criticize yourself a lot, you are probably repeating things you heard in childhood. Changing that voice is difficult, but possible. 40. Spending money on experiences, trips, shows, brings more happiness than spending on material goods. Objects break or go out of style. Memories of experiences become part of who you are. People with low self-esteem tend to humiliate others to feel better. Bullying is almost always a cry for help from someone who hates themselves. 42. The scent of orange or vanilla can improve your mood. The olfactory system is directly linked to the limbic system, which controls emotions. Aromatherapy is not nonsense, it is neuroscience. Doing things that scare you a little makes you happier. Stepping out of your comfort zone releases a mix of adrenaline and dopamine that makes you feel more alive. 44. When you are tired, you are more likely to be honest. That's why deep conversations usually happen late at night. The brain is out of energy to maintain social filters. People who feel guilty easily are better at understanding the emotions of others. Guilt is a sign of high empathy, although it is painful for those who feel it. 46. Multitasking is a myth. The brain does not do two things at the same time. It alternates between them very quickly. This consumes glucose and leaves you exhausted and less productive. Physical clutter causes mental clutter. A messy room sends constant signals of work to do to the brain, which increases cortisol and stress. 48. Hugging someone for more than 20 seconds releases enough oxytocin to create mutual trust. It's the time needed for the body to understand there is no threat. Talking in the third person, John will succeed, helps control emotions better than talking in the first person, I will succeed. This creates a psychological distance that helps you be more rational. 50. Boredom. Boredom is important. It is during moments of boredom that the brain activates the default mode network, where creativity and complex problem-solving happen. Stop running away from boredom with your phone. Let's speed things up a bit. 51. The more choices you have, the less satisfied you are with the decision. It is the paradox of choice. Having 3 options is better than having 30. 52. Seeing photos of food can make you hungry, but seeing too many photos of the same food can suppress your appetite. The brain tires of the flavor visually.
53. Loneliness is as dangerous to health as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. We are social animals. We need a tribe to survive. 54. Children who learn music have better brain development in areas related to language and mathematical reasoning. 55. The brain treats uncertainty as an error. That's why you prefer to know bad news now rather than waiting without knowing what will happen. 56. Smiling, even if forced, can trick your brain and slightly improve your mood. It's the facial feedback loop. 57. Intelligent people tend to underestimate their abilities, while ignorant people tend to think they are geniuses. This is the Dunning-Kruger effect. 58. You tend to like people who make small mistakes more. People who are too perfect seem distant and fake. Spilling coffee might make you more likable. 59. Gratitude changes the structure of the brain. Practicing gratitude daily strengthens the neural pathways to see the good side of life, making you physically happier. 60. Your shoes say a lot. Anxious people tend to take very good care of their shoes or wear new shoes as a way of control the image they project from the ground up. 61. The first and last items on a list are the most remembered. If you are going for a job interview, try to be the first or the last candidate. 62. Chocolate releases the same chemicals in the brain as romantic love. 63. Seeing someone yawn and not yawning back may be a sign of lack of empathy or even psychopathy, although not always. It's about mirrored connection. 64. Revenge rarely brings relief. Studies show that taking revenge makes you dwell on the problem longer. Forgiveness is healthy selfishness. It's for you to be at peace, not for the other person.
65. Summer is the time when most betrayals happen. The heat and less clothing activate more primal instincts. 66. Men tend to use humor to attract partners. Women tend to laugh more at the humor of men they are attracted to. Laughter is a mating code. 67. People who walk fast are generally seen as more confident and objective, but they can also be more impatient and stressed. 68. Having a plan B reduces the chances of plan A succeeding. Security decreases your total commitment. 69. Hearing your own recorded voice is strange because you hear it from inside your skull with more bass. The recorded voice is how others truly hear you. 70. Post-holiday depression is real. The brain suffers withdrawal from the dopamine generated by the novelty of the trip. 71. If you want someone to do something, give the illusion of choice. Do you want to wash the dishes now or after dinner? Works better than wash the dishes. 72. Gossip creates social bonds. Unfortunately, talking badly about a third person unites two people faster than talking well. 73. The color yellow increases metabolism and hunger. It's no wonder fast food chains use yellow and red. 74. People who read fiction develop more empathy and theory of mind because they spend hours living inside other people's heads. And finally, fact 75, the most important of all. The human brain has a capacity called neuroplasticity. This means that no matter how old you are, what traumas you have suffered, or how you think today, you can physically change the structure of your brain through new habits and thoughts. You are not a finished product. You are a continuous work in progress. Everything we talked about here today, the fears, the anxieties, the habits, all of this can be reshaped if you decide to take conscious control of your mind.
Understanding these facts is not just curiosity, it's a toolbox. Now you know that silence is power, that fear is just an old alarm, and that you can trick your brain into being happier. Psychology is not about reading minds. It's about understanding your own so you can live better, with less judgment and more clarity. Use this information to be kinder to yourself and smarter in your interactions.
If any of these facts blew your mind, subscribe to the channel now to understand even more about what goes on inside your head. I'll see you in the next video.